Hello everyone and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So today I wanted to talk about the 5 best ways to make silver non-AFK, because I made a video a few weeks ago on the best AFK ways to make silver, and so I thought I would change it up, try the other way. And so 5 tips and then one bonus thing at the end that I wrote down. So number 1, as we all know, grinding in Black Desert is the number 1 way to make silver. That's probably how a lot of you guys got into the game as well. Or if you've heard of Black Desert before, you know it's a very grindy game. And one of the best ways for beginners and people to figure out where they want to grind is, one, I have a bunch of videos talking about the best places to grind for like silver, XP, and all that stuff. I'll leave it in the description. But for all of you guys who don't want to watch that video, the best way you guys can do it is go to the Monster Zone tab. You could just search it up and either go by sorting by AP, so whatever you're at from, I guess, seasonal beginner all the way to the end game. You could find places that you like, or you could sort by a region and everything. So in my videos, I talk about just like what I think is good for basically everything. And for someone who actually plays the game, I think I know what I'm talking about for the most part. But keep all of this with a grain of salt. And some of these you could sort by like certain tags and everything, like these things over here. And some of them I think are a little bit outdated, but for the most part, most of them are pretty correct. So yeah, figured that was a good thing to discuss and how you guys can find all that yourself. The next thing I wanted to talk about as a good non-AFK activity is gathering. So as we all know, life skills kind of connect in one way or the other, and they're basically like gathering, fishing, hunting, get main resources, and then you could either cook them, alchemy, processing, and turn them into higher tier stuff. So it's kind of a mix of both AFK and non-AFK. But I think that one thing that's good to look at is the gathering side of everything, because you can choose what you want to make, and all the materials that you get are, you know, more or less valuable depending on what you do. And I have a video on all my favorite gathering spots. But one thing you guys should figure out when you start gathering is what you actually want to do. So let's talk about all the life tools for a little bit, and let's show you. So in my opinion, the best ones for silver are either butchering or fluid collecting. A lot of these go into crafting foods and or elixirs for all the endgame players who use everything like cron meals, elixirs, harmony drafts, and potions in general. So a lot of these are most important just because endgame players use it. If you're trying to go for XP, the hoe is probably the best one. And if you're trying to craft more tools and everything, you need all the rough stone and everything. So that's probably one of the bigger ones. Lumbering axe. This one gives a lot of logs, which you can't really buy off the market as much. But most of the things are like, if you like self-crafting everything, so like let's say you're going for boat gear or, you know, horse gear and everything, you're probably going to want to make it yourself. So lumbering and tanning are for people who just like doing it themselves instead of just buying off the market. But in terms of silver, I would probably choose the butcher knife and the fluid collector. Those are probably the most important ones. And of course, the other ones are just whatever. And then fishing, obviously, that's a big AFK activity. It's a lot of silver, but it's for mostly AFK. Next thing on my list is hunting. So a lot of people don't do hunting a lot just because, one, it's kind of out of the way, which you should have a second character for that. But also, people don't really know where to start. So the video I did a while ago is still relevant, and I basically tell you how to do it from beginner all the way to whatever you want to do. So there's 2 different kinds of hunting in this game. Let me show you. I think this one is. So there's normal matchlock hunting, and then there's sniper rifle hunting. The sniper rifle one is probably more silver. However, the normal Matchlock one is faster to level up. They're both pretty decent silver and everything, but it's something that kind of requires a little bit of an investment, because to use a master Matchlock early on, you probably have to, have a little bit of mastery and everything, but that's okay. I talk about that. So what you could do is buy a Monos hunter's clothes, the hunting bag, which is actually a lot cheaper these days. And, the idea is if you're doing this at beginner 1, you have to have a little bit of mastery early on, and not the master one, but the one below it. And so, yeah, here are the best spots to do hunting and all that stuff. So normal Matchlock hunting down in the Narcion area, very solid. If you're doing sniper hunting, you're probably going to be down here in the sniper hunting area. So yeah, this is actually a pretty solid spot. I don't know if there's more of them, but everyone I talk to, they're just in this area because it's the sniper wild game preserve. So yeah, low key hunting is a lot of silver. You have to be good at it, but it is kind of a breath of fresh air if you're bored of grinding and want to try something new. I think hunting is pretty fun, and I'm still working on it, but I think it's a good idea to start it. The next thing I want to talk about is another life skill for sailing and bartering. So as we all know, they have buffed sailing and bartering for over the past couple months, and every time I read a patch notes, there's probably something in there. But what did they change? First of all, they made Carracks and the blue boat gear that is sellable on the market, and so you could sell that now, which is always good. And also they made sailing easier because the dailies are, more convenient. They give better rewards, and also the bartering is a lot easier now because you just get more than you did before, but also they sell for more. So for example, you see these things right here, the level 5. So basically, how does it work? You start with white grade materials and you upgrade it from green to blue, the yellow to orange. And then once you have the orange ones, or the level 5s, essentially, you're going to want to basically get the big money ones that sell for a lot of silver. Every now and then they have something down in here like that was worth more than that, but there's a lot of exchanges. It's about, like, if you can do it efficiently, probably about like 400 or 500 mil in 20-30ish minutes, which is not a lot compared to grinding, but it is something different. So sailing is like an entirely new game of itself, because I don't know how to explain it. It's just, it feels different because you have different objectives. Your goal is to get the best boat, all the boat gear, and manage your inventory and everything. And it's like all of this stuff. So it's one of those things where if you're out in the ocean, you're kind of like playing another game. And then you're going out into Margoria, fighting sea monsters and all that stuff. Yeah, it's kind of like grinding, but on water. So I think it's something fun. You should try it out at least once in your video career. And the last thing I want to talk about before we go into the bonus one is learning the central market. Now, this one is something that takes some time to actually do, and it's not like you could just learn it overnight. So as we all know, Black Desert is an event-driven economy. So what does that mean? Whatever events are happening, whether we have like XP buffs or like drop rate buffs, life skills, usually that dictates what's happening on the market and or like various events that are happening. So for all of you who like to watch the market, buy low, sell high, essentially that, or enhance for profit, accessories, it's always a good thing to keep up with the patch notes and just events on the economy and just figure out what's happening. So yeah, learn the central market, basically buy low, sell high. I have a video series called Window Shopping. Every month we talk about like all the notable item changes and prices. And for example, like we'll just look at Black Stars. We could look at trends of every month and everything. So yeah, it's something that it's not really hard to do. It's just most people don't want to do it. So if you take the time to learn it, low-key you make a lot of silver and you're just sitting here looking at things. Is it fun? Debatable, but do you want easy money? That's how you do it. So the last thing I would recommend to do is a weekly, and as we all know, the black shrines are, you know, actually low-key a lot of money, and especially if you have a guild or a bunch of friends that you could do party bosses with. Admittedly, these require a little bit of gear, but the solo ones don't. So if you can do like 7, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10, those are always good. Even if you're doing like 5s, you know, entry level, I guess, those are pretty solid. But one thing I'd recommend is trying to learn all the party bosses at some point, and hard gets a lot of silver a week, and I have a video on that, just like opening all the bundles, and you guys can see it's like, oh, just here, spend an hour doing party bosses with your friends or guildies, make like 5 to 6 billion silver a week for that. It's really good. So if you're that person that likes challenging yourself and improving your gear and everything, try these bosses, do them at the higher difficulties, and yeah, it's always a fun time. It's something new, and it gets kind of repetitive, but like it's good silver. And you know, if you're sick of grinding circles and you want to like actual test your skills, that's always interesting. So with that said, those are 5 tips plus 1 bonus one that you can do weekly, and hopefully you guys learn something. And with that said, if you want to check out anything else I talked about before, other videos on various topics, I'll leave it in the description, as well as the best ways to make silver from AFK activities. I think that's always an interesting one to talk about too. So with that said, thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.